The sound of glass shattering broke the silence of the night. Sarah Thompson rushed to the front door, her heart pounding in her chest. There it was again, a spray painted insult across her garage. Her son's bike thrown to the side, its tires slashed. She clenched her fists, her military instincts kicking in, but she took a deep breath. She wasn't just a former Marine anymore. She was a single mother, and her 12-year-old son Ethan needed her calm more than her rage. Sarah had left the Marine Corps 6 years ago, after her husband's sudden death. She came back to her hometown with nothing but discipline, strength, and a heart that carried both pride and grief. She had learned to raise Ethan alone, working double shifts at the local diner, and still making time to help him with homework at night. But lately, Ethan had been coming home with bruises on his arms and sadness in his eyes. "Mom, can we just move somewhere else?" Ethan whispered one evening, his voice trembling. Sarah's heart broke hearing that. Moving wasn't an option. Money was tight, and this was the only neighborhood she could afford. She knelt down, holding Ethan's face. "No one runs us out of our home, son. Not bullies. Not anyone." But the harassment escalated. Ethan's classmates would shove him, laugh at his second-hand clothes, and mock Sarah for being a washed-up soldier. Sarah tried talking to the school, but the bullies' parents dismissed it, saying, "Boys will be boys." The system didn't care, and Sarah realized this battle was hers to fight. The turning point came on a chilly Friday evening. Sarah had worked a long shift and returned home to find Ethan cornered by 3 older boys in the front yard. They were taunting him, pushing him to the ground, daring him to cry. Sarah froze for a split second, rage boiling in her chest. She had fought in war zones, faced fear on foreign soil, but nothing compared to the sight of her child being attacked. She walked calmly toward them. "That's enough," she said, her voice sharp as steel. The boys turned, smirking. "What are you going to do, old lady?" One of them sneered. Sarah stepped closer, her posture straight, her eyes locked on them with the same intensity she once had in combat. "Leave my son alone. This is your first and only warning." They laughed, but that laugh faded when she moved. With a single swift motion, she disarmed the leader of the group, who had pulled out a stick to intimidate Ethan. In seconds, Sarah had him pinned to the ground, her voice calm but commanding. "You think picking on children makes you strong. You don't know the meaning of strength." The other 2 boys backed away, their faces pale. They had no idea Ethan's mother was a Marine, no idea the quiet single mom they mocked carried the strength of a warrior. Word spread quickly in the neighborhood. The boys never touched Ethan again. But Sarah knew this wasn't just about scaring them off. She wanted to give her son something more powerful than fear. She wanted him to know resilience. That weekend, she took Ethan to a nearby park. She set up small training exercises, teaching him basic self-defense, the same lessons she had once given new recruits. Ethan stumbled at first, frustrated. But Sarah's steady encouragement guided him. "Every time you fall, you get back up stronger. That's what makes a fighter," she reminded him. Weeks turned into months, and Ethan grew, not just in skill, but in confidence. The kids at school noticed he walked taller, spoke with more courage, and didn't back down. The bullies who once tormented him now kept their distance. One afternoon, Ethan came home smiling for the first time in months. "Mom, one of the boys said sorry to me today," he said proudly. Sarah hugged him, her eyes misting. For her, it wasn't just about winning against bullies. It was about showing her son the power of courage and respect. But Sarah's strength wasn't just in the fight. It was in the nights she stayed awake, worrying about bills. It was in the mornings she forced herself to smile so Ethan could go to school feeling safe. It was in the way she carried her scars silently, turning her pain into lessons of resilience. Years later, Ethan would remember those moments as the foundation of his character. He would tell people, "My mom taught me that being strong isn't about hurting others. It's about protecting and standing up for what's right." Sarah never wore her Marine uniform again, but she didn't need to. Every time she looked at her son standing tall, she knew her mission was complete. She hadn't just defended her child. She had given him the strength to defend himself. And for every single mother struggling alone, Sarah's story stands as a reminder: you don't need an army to fight back. Sometimes, the strongest warrior is the one raising a child with courage, love, and an unbreakable spirit.